Hey guys, thanks for joining the podcast. This is going to be chapter 15, The Believer. But before we get into all that, that's Kage over there. I'm Dave. This is Pit-Droid podcasting. There's only one episode left in the season after this, so don't forget to like and subscribe. We could really use it. Thanks, guys. Seriously. Alright, guys, hit the hyperdrive and let's do this thing. Alright, guys. Chapter 15. The Believer. The director, Rick. How I'm not even gonna try. I don't want to do it. How do you do it?
I'll give it an attempt. I should have looked this up beforehand. Rick Famuyiwa.
Okay, I think that's pretty solid. What do you know about him?
Honestly, he has directed other films and other shows, but I don't really know. I've personally never heard of them. But he has been in Star Wars before. Specifically the Mandalorian Season 1, Chapter 6. I believe it was called The Prisoner. He was one of the X-Wing pilots that were coming in when the tracking beacon was pulled. When they activated the tracking beacon. So he is a return member, I guess. He's already had a cameo. So I think that's pretty sweet. That's pretty much all I really know about him.
I've said before that usually the people that direct these episodes, they're Star Wars fans, so I wouldn't be surprised that he was like, "Let me be in it. I want to be in an episode." Yeah, that's totally cool. So, plot synopsis: to move against the Empire, the Mandalorian needs help from an old enemy. So, before we get into all that fun stuff, which you do pretty much right away, I've got a clip here, or an image, Boba's armor.
And it looks
paint upgrade.
Beautiful.
It looks sweet. I don't know what's up with like the Zelda hearts. I think it's pretty cool.
You're talking about the lights on his chest?
Yeah, it's awesome.
Honestly, that's like a prop maker's dream right there. And it's so clean looking, which is amazing. You don't usually see that in media, for one, but Star Wars, like, your stuff isn't usually new and clean looking. I don't know if he repainted it or maybe it was just dirty, but
so he definitely repainted it. And there's talk, there's a lot of speculation. Is he gonna die in the finale? Like, because we don't want this turned into the Mandalorian, the Boba Fett show. So how is he gonna leave our show? And what I thought right away as I saw this, and I said, I don't think you're gonna give the guy a brand new paint job and then kill him off. Like, man, I hope not. Like,
maybe
that would be horrible. A lot of fans are thinking that they brought him back to give him a proper death this time.
So you think that he will fall in The Mandalorian?
Chances are his show is going to be like a prequel. It's going to to where we are now. So, who knows? I don't know. I sure hope not. Like I said, why give him a fresh paint job if you're going to kill him?
They're getting ready for the Boba and Fennec show, obviously. I mean, why bring Fennec back?
Why bring Fennec back? What was next, though? This was so cool. We've been talking about this. I think everyone's excited about this. Slave One interior.
It's something that I have not let go at all. I keep mentioning it every time we see it. How do they fit so many people inside of this and the way it's designed? So I grabbed this clip here of Slave One taking off, which is actually a really cool design, and it's actually new to what the concept art showed, which is it's almost like they're on a gyroscope where it's rotating as the ship is taking off and the ship is standing upright. And it's
so cool. Cool.
I don't think we've seen that in anything yet either, but after I saw this scene, I actually had to go and find like the ship, and I'm like, how did they have this set up in the first place? And it turns out in the previous episode in the concept art, they actually gave us a picture of Boba's ship. And what's interesting to me is they must be sitting below that yellow ladder. There must be another room down there because Mando yells up at Boba. And this I think is the old layout from episode 2, because during episode 2 you have Boba and Jango sitting in the both the pilot and the co-pilot seats, but they had those hammocks in the back.
Yep. It's crazy. I didn't think there was this much room. It's pretty spacious for being a relatively small ship.
Well, and in the clip, if you notice, as they're rotating, they have windows. They have like a window view. So it's got to be
Yes.
towards the end of the ship next to the cockpit. I think they're directly underneath it.
Super cool. What's next? What do we got here?
We have Operation Cinder. And how much do you know about this?
I don't know much. It's a failsafe plan if the Emperor was to die, correct?
Yeah, pretty much. So Biggs Mayfield mentions fighting in it, which is interesting because so Operation Cinder and then there is Burning Kon. They're two separate things connected. So Operation Cinder was the Empire's contingency plan, like the break glass if we lose kind of situation. In this case, Emperor dies, break the glass. So what it is they had set up an array of climate disruption satellites that they would fly over planets, and what these things were originally meant for were terraforming planets. And so in this case, they would cause extreme weather events, such as like electrical storms or heat waves, or even they could use these things to block out the sun and completely freeze a planet. And so Operation Cinder went on to attack Naboo and multiple other planets, including Burning Kon. Burning Kon is a planet that was primarily a mining colony. And interestingly enough, so this was all first introduced in the comics Shattered Empire, and then it was further explored in Battlefront 2 in its campaign, which is actually really cool to see the game, a newer game, being considered canon.
Yeah, I mean, we've kind of been pulling from that whole Jedi Knight Academy 2 Kyle Katarn cloning thing a lot here. They pull in a lot from that kind of stuff, but it's fascinating to see, that kind of stuff like mentioned and played out. I love it. I'm playing Fallen Order right now, so anything that I can see.
So next is Mando breaking his creed, and I actually think he does. They've been teetering on his values of the creed throughout the last 2 seasons. I mean, he gets introduced to being able to take his mask off when he meets Bo-Katan. And in this one, you see him struggle because they have to hop on the Rhydodium convoy?
Yep.
And they're like, well, Miggs Mayfield doesn't want to go alone. And they look at Boba, and I love it. He makes the comment, well, I can't go. They might recognize my face. And I think that's a callback to the clones. That the Imperial Army may it took me a minute. Like, I realized that after the episode, and that's I love that callback. But anyways,
cool.
So anyways, what ends up happening is Mando agrees to change into an Imperial soldier outfit and infiltrate the base, and that's what he does. And I think taking off any of his Mando armor is already kind of walking that fine line of him being comfortable of possibly breaking the creed, but then he goes on to remove his whole mask for that facial scanner, and at that point, that's like a breaking point for him. I think, like, he is not allowed to do that. So I don't know if he's gonna feel like he has completely broken the creed at this point, or is he going to pretend that it never happened, since Miggs says that he's like, I never saw you.
It's tough. I don't know. I think that he'll do anything, to get Grogu back. So I think we're seeing it. Like, he'll break the creed. He'll do whatever at this point to get Grogu. And I also think that we're seeing something else here. I think a lot of people know by now that the actor, um, Pedro Pascal, does not. He's not very happy about the lack of showing his face so much in this show, and we've also seen Mandalorians that he's coming into contact with not following this creed. And I think it's kind of given him a chance to say, well, maybe we're past that point in the galaxy where everything's at. You know, it's time to do things different. Um and that's going to allow the actor to show his face a little bit more going forward and make everyone happy. I think we're kind of seeing a lot of different things playing out in the show and in real life too.
That's a good point. I don't know if I personally don't think we're going to see his face again anytime soon. I think it's something he's going to continue to fight. This was like his first step into breaking the creed. I don't even think Grogu's actually seen his face yet, and you would have thought that he would have been the first one.
I think it's probably going to be once or twice a season. You know, I mean, it's not his thing. You can tell he's very uncomfortable.
Oh yeah,
You know,
the acting in this with him with his mask off is flawless. I loved it.
it's a very good job. Very good job. Um, yeah, I thought it was great to see. I love to see what he will go to get Grogu back. It's pretty awesome.
Apparently, he's
What
willing to go through a lot. So
I think we're gonna see that. What do we got up next? Yes. So, at the very end of the episode, Mando threatens Moff Gideon. And if you were paying attention, and I have to give credit where credit's due, I didn't know this until I did my research. But this is episode 7. This image here is from season 1, episode 7. Moff Gideon threatens Din in that episode, and Din threatens Moff Gideon in this episode. And not only that, but it's almost word for word. You see, you have something I want. And it goes much further than that. It is literally laid out word for word. He takes the exact threat that was given to him and flips it back at Moff Gideon. And I thought that was really cool. I think that's really scary.
was it
Like, if that actually happened, like, I would be scared. Like, oh dang.
was it really
Yeah.
word for word, like the entire
is.
threat? Wow. Okay,
It
so
is.
I was very surprised by what Mando said, but that would make more sense because when he was like he was saying that he would go through anything to get him back, and I
That's
was like,
exactly what Moff Gideon says to
and he
him.
says, "You have no idea how much he means to me," and
Yep.
I was like, "Wow, he's really attached." So now I'm questioning: is he doing it as a scare tactic, or does he truly mean everything he just said?
Oh, I think he means it. You just saw him remove his helmet.
That's a good
You
point.
know?
Okay. Yep.
He means it, and it's also a scare tactic. And man, is it an awesome
Oh
one.
yeah.
I mean, it's pretty cool.
The whole presence of that, like the fact that he's willing to reach out to Gideon's ship and say, "I'm coming for you," rather than like sneak attack or anything like that.
Yeah,
Yeah,
right.
I mean, I wouldn't be feeling great as Moff Gideon, but then again, it's for all he knows, or as far as he knows, it's just Mando and possibly Boba, and two people versus a starship, a whole fleet.
It's yeah, it's gonna be crazy. So yeah, wrapping up this podcast here. Final thoughts as far as what do we think's gonna happen for next episode? What do you think?
I Man, at this point, I feel like there's so much they still need to do. Like if this is going to be their showdown, I don't think they're going to have a full on fight. It, I don't. I think they'll eventually have a fight, but I'd like to think that Mando's going to attempt to do a full on breakout. But then again, why would he need Miggs Mayfield, a marksman?
I didn't think about Meg's being. I don't think he's gonna be there.
Oh, sorry. No, he isn't there right now. Miggs Mayfield died.
Yeah.
So that's a good point. I honestly was thinking more the long con, where I said in the last episode that we're eventually gonna. I think we're gonna have an end game where everybody's just gonna show up. So
yeah, there's gonna be a lot of people there. I think he's gonna pull out all the stops. It's gonna be a crazy episode. We're probably gonna see a Jedi other than Ahsoka. We may see Ahsoka again.
I think she'll be back.
My final thoughts are, though, I think that in the end of this episode, Din is going to be defeated. I think that it's not like game over, but I don't think he's going to win. I don't think he's getting Grogu back this episode. I'll tell you that. I think that's going to be a season 3 thing.
I agree that they definitely have to leave it on some sort of cliffhanger. So if he's going to lose something, whether it's somebody with him, or if it's going to be Grogu again, or he never gets him back to begin with, or
not Boba Fett. Don't lose Boba Fett.
My only other speculation is that they may get Grogu, take off in their ship, and then get caught in a blockade somewhere. Our cliffhanger may be Mando getting captured. Maybe Thrawn.
That would be cool. That'd be really cool. I cannot wait, personally. There's, it's a great time to be a Star Wars fan. That's all I got to say.
I'm starting to have second thoughts, though. I don't know if Thrawn's going to get shown in this show.
I think he's going to be like the last image that you're going to see.
That could be. That very well could be.
See his face. It's so iconic that this is going to be, it's going to be good.
I can't wait, and I'm sincerely bummed that next week that's going to be it. And then we got to wait another year.
Well, there's so much more Star Wars on the horizon, so with the 2 suns in the horizon.
If they give me 2 shows a year, and when one's setting, the next one's rising, I'm totally cool.
That would be awesome. That I would be a big fan of that. All right, guys, let's wrap this up. Thanks for tuning into the podcast. We'll see you next week for the big one. We got other big things in the future for this podcast, so keep tuning in and checking us out. Thanks, guys. Don't forget, this was not the podcast you were looking for.
Hey, everybody. Thanks for watching our video. If you liked it, please give us a like and subscribe to the channel to keep up with our current work. If you missed the previous video, you can check it out right here.